Awesome. I think we are good to go. Uh, we have a lot of people here. I will also invite Gino to the stage as there are a few amazing updates from the Genesis Labs as well. And let's go and dive into the all hands.
Awesome. I'll kick it off. So, hi everyone. Welcome. I see we have a few new people in World. So, hi. Welcome everyone. This is our all hands where we give updates to the community of what's going on. We do these about every 8 weeks or so. If you're in World and don't see the stream, just do a quick reload and you should be good to go. So I'm Kim, head of marketing and partnerships. We have a lot of exciting updates to go through today. So we will get moving, and then there's a Slido at the end for questions. So Q4, our marketing focus is around Mana and the economy education. I know in the past we haven't talked that much about Mana, the Decentraland economy, how it works, but we have gotten approval to do so, which is really exciting to talk about it as our utility token in World. So you will see we've done a new blog about it. So if anyone hasn't seen, there's an awesome blog that Lauren on our team wrote about Mana and the economy in Decentraland so that we can continue to help others understand how our world works. We're also doing a lot of in-world activations. You will see more about that in a few slides. We're working on 2025 recaps, and a huge shout out to everyone. Today is officially the 1 year since the new client release. So you'll see some content about that today. We appreciate if you all have some fun memories or content about the past year from since the release to now, feel free to share. So it's our first client birthday. We're really excited about it. We know a lot has happened since then. We'll be working on 2025 recaps and get those all out in December. There has been a lot of change in the past. And then 2026 planning is well underway. We are doing it much earlier this year, and I'm excited about the campaigns that we can develop. So you'll see this is more of our evergreen content. We've been working on this to help with SEO, GEO. GEO, for anyone that's not familiar, is the content that gets pulled into AI. Super fun. We've seen some people in World that I've met, and I was like, "How'd you hear about Decentraland?" And they'll be like, "ChatGPT," and that's just so fun. So that means our content is doing the work it's supposed to do, and help people find us. So we have new blogs out. Check them out. It's how to make and run an event in Decentraland, all about communities, how Mana powers the ecosystem. And then a new one that I really love about loneliness and making friendships and how all of that comes to life in Decentraland. I want to give a shout out to our Jumpstart community leads. So, for those of you that are familiar, we launched communities about a month ago. We have some members of the community that have stepped up to run their own programs and weekly events. So, every week you will be seeing amazing events from these community leads. And check them out. There's a wide range. We have Lastrom, who's building a game together collaboratively with the community of Fractillions for art education and tours. We have Clyde, who's doing breath work. Mazak is doing the card game. Sinful with Beyond the NFT. So like there's just such a wide range of content that's happening in World. Last week there were 42 events alone, which is just so exciting to see the wide range everyone is putting together. So shout out to all of our event organizers. This program is a 6-month program and just piloting it and seeing how that works. So thank you to everyone for collaborating with us on that. So big events. We have 3 big events coming up that I want to put on your radar and also just do a quick little recap of Art Week. So Art Week, for those of you that have joined, thank you for jumping in. If you are new and haven't checked out the Art Week content yet, it is going to be available for a whole year. We're just changing all the language from Art Week to like an art zone so that it is more evergreen, but really beautiful work across the board. Shout out to all the creators and studios for this. It was our best attended event of 2025. And then of the past 2 years, it's second only to the 2024 music event. So shout out to everyone for helping us get the word out. We had 38% of users were brand new, which was the highest of the year. So awesome opportunity to show what is possible in a virtual world in terms of the art that can be built. Another goal of ours was to make sure that the parcels were starting to be filled with more evergreen content. So 156 unused parcels were filled. So shout out to all the studios and creators. Throughout the content, we had 11 workshops, 7 live tours, six community activations officially, but a ton unofficially that were really awesome. So thank you everyone for getting involved and making this happen. Um, we now have 60 people in the immersive arts community, which led by Fractillions and Rizzle. So that is where you can stay up to date for what's happening in art and get inspired and learn more about art opportunities here. We had the new gallery template. So if you're looking to build and you're looking for a no code option, there is a new art gallery template. We had at least 15 already deployed, ton of others. I know people were in the works doing that. And 100% of our partners said they would participate again, which is a huge win. I know we connected the Regenesis Labs team with CSM, and they're doing a bounty for the hackathon. We had all of the other partners give discount codes for their AI tools. So make sure you check that in the pinned announcements in Discord and get those discount codes if you're looking to build with AI. So thank you, everyone. Amazing Art Week event. All of those builds and the wearables are available for at least a year. And I think Bay just dropped the coordinates. Yes, -140, -88 if you want to explore after this. So where we're at in our timeline, we have 3 more events. Fright Night, the 30th through 31st here in October. Music Fest, this is a new date, the 3rd through the 6th of December. So everyone has a little bit more time to finish everything up there. And then the live Festive Trail, more information to come. There will be an open call, and that will be December through January for the holiday season. So Fright Night, we have been in testing. I know everyone's doing their final deploys. It's looking amazing. So thank you to all of the creators who are participating in the Fright Night. Get your spookiest outfits ready. Marketplace credits. There's only a little bit more time. I'm double checking exactly how much time here to go shopping. They expire in 4 days. Sinful, if you're listening, make sure you go spend your credits. I know you stack them. So 4 days these credits expire. Go buy some Fright Night spooky attire and get ready for the event. And then season 3 will kick off October 27th for marketplace credits, so you can start earning again. And then next up, we have Music Festival. Sorry, I don't know what happened to this image. That's not full screen. But December 3rd through 6th, it is a new theme. Shout out to Bay for all the creativity here. It's going to be substream, so expect digital native performers, streamers, VTubers, all of that. Really, really excited about it. If you've been to a music festival in the past, you know the vibe. It's a ton of fun. Tell your friends. December 3rd through 6th. I don't want to share too much more. I'm going to wait for some of those teasers to come out, but that's your sneak peek. And then what's coming up and how you can help. Apply to the open call. I believe Bay just said it's coming out within the week. Welcome new users. I know there's some in chat right now. Hi. Welcome to Decentraland. Show them around, send them to the blog to learn more. I know you guys are the best gift givers out there, so thank you for continually doing that and greeting everyone and making sure they show up stylish in world. And then invite your friends to Fright Night Music Festival. Use your referral program. And I've been loving Toxic. I was dying last night at the Toxic Tuesday content you were creating. They were so funny. Just everyone, I love all the unique content that you're bringing to the table, the creativity, the fun. Share it on social. We'll be resharing, commenting to help boost all of that content as well. I think that's it from the marketing side. Thank you, everyone, for everything you're doing. And I see you on the timelines. You guys are crushing it. Passing it over to Alvaro.
Thank you, Kim. So on the product updates, on this cycle, as we mentioned in the past, we have been focusing on these strategic pillars on social features, content creation, and DCL economy. Next slide, please. So for all users, we have the following features. We have been modifying the marketplace credit tasks. So now we have this we still have this 3 separate days joining. We modified the attending of 2 events to 5 minutes. And now you need to take a photo with someone else emoting, and we have some different locations every week to visit. But we have seen that we had some people having troubles with this. For the ones that had trouble, we already have mechanisms to solve it and to assign the credits. We also have released the auto translate feature, so you can now select your preferred language, and messages will be automatically translated. Let's see it with a video. We have a demo. So you can go now to your settings, and in the chat section, you can select the translate message to. We have a bunch of languages there from what we saw in the population of the Decentraland that were the most requested. And you can manually translate a message by clicking on this icon, or by going to the extended menu, translate or see the original message. We can also enable this as an automatic feature. So in every conversation individually, you can enable that and click on auto translate. And whenever you receive a message, the system will automatically translate it to the preferred language. Let me remove that. Yes. So you can see that even if I'm receiving the messages in Spanish, they are automatically being translated to English. Next slide, please. Not that easy when it's a video, right? So we have been working on outfits. That it was a very requested feature from the previous version that we never really had to port. So we had modified it a little bit slightly. So now it's a little bit better. So go to the next slide, please. If you are a user that doesn't have a name, you will still have the same slots that you had in the past. So you will have 5 slots available. And in the case that you have a name, we will be unlocking 5 more slots in the wardrobe. So go to the next video and we can showcase that. No much complication here. This works exactly like what we did in the past. Now we have on the top of the tabs, we have categories. That is going to be the main backpack. And we have the save outfits. As you can see, this player already have a name. So you have 10 available slots in order to save and equip your outfits. The only difference is that we now can preview the outfits without actually having to equip them. So you can click on any of them and then click on the equip button to actually commit your decision. Next slide. Okay, I think we already talked about this several weeks ago on private voice chat. We never really got to release it. We already have a working version of that. We had tons of problems regarding Mac versions and how sound works in the game. Go to the next video and we can show a demo of how that works. Right now, if you have a friend, you can go to a private conversation and click on the call button, and that will start a call to the other player. That it doesn't sound because the video doesn't have a sound, but you can start an easy conversation there. You have the mute and unmute button that you can press the T key in order to unlock, or you can use the push to talk functionality by holding the T key. And again, I think there is a showcase here. Well, you can see who is talking in the conversation at any time. And if I close the conversation, I'm gonna ask Romy to actually call me back. You can see how what is the experience when someone calls you. Romy, call me, please. Okay. So now you will hear a sound of like a phone ringing, and you're gonna be able to talk with them. Okay, go to the next. Oh no, I think there is an important thing here, is that this works in the same way as private conversation. So if you don't want people to actually start a call, you can go to the settings. In the same place that we have the chat, we have this exchange DMs on calls with. You can determine if that is for everyone or only for your friends. Next slide. At the same time, it's been a long time. We keep working on the community voice streams. So we wanted the communities to have delocalized, moderated spaces. So all your members, either for a private or a public community, can join. And the typical functionalities that we have today on the builder, on Discord, we will have it in world. Hopefully, this is the last meetup that we need to do on Discord, and we can do all of those with voice chat in world on the next event. So let's go for a showcase on a demo. I have divided this into two different videos. The first is from the point of view of an stream organizer. So you can open the tab of your community and you will see this green button, start a moderated voice stream. When you click on that, and you will start the conversation there, and other people will be able to join. We can see what is the experience of the people of the community from outside in another video. But here you can hear me speaking, and I can see that there is already 2 members connected, me and another person, basically Romy connected. So I'm gonna approve, and she actually raised her hand, so I'm gonna approve her to be in the stage. And now we can go back to the conversation and see that we are both part of it. We have different tools as moderators, so we can demote the speakers, remove them from the stream, or even ban them if we see people that is misbehaving, ban them from the community so they cannot really part of the conversation. And as well, if you go to the list of users, you can promote them to be on the stage. From here, I can decide to leave the stage or cancel the call, or to close the stream for everybody in the button that we have on the corner. So here, yeah, I'm canceling the stream for everybody else. On the next video, we have this perspective from the users or from the members outside of the community, of if in the case of a public community or if you are a member of a private community. Let's see if the video loads. Okay, so as a member of the community, Cassie, I'm gonna ask you to pause there. Can you pause the video? Yeah. You can see 2 different things. Whenever the community started the stream, as I am part of that community, I received a notification. That is what you see on the top. The community Black Lodge started a voice stream. If I click in there, I will automatically join the voice stream. But also, I am in a scene. In this case, is my scene that is part of the community, and that's why you see on top of the chat you see this purple banner. It's saying that this scene belongs to a community that is streaming, so I can join directly from there. And that's an important point, because if you are a user that doesn't belong to a community, but a public community starts streaming and you are in a place that belongs to a community, you will see that banner. That is important for things like the Metaverse Music Festival or the festival that we organize, or for the events. So if you want people to publicly be able to connect to your stream, you will automatically be promoting your stream in every scene that form parts of the community. So be sure that you add your scenes to your community places tab. So these streams are promoted everywhere. And you can continue the video as well. And there is an easy way to connect on that, is that the chat also contains a banner to connect to the voice train and directly. So there is an additional one. I want to ask you to pause in there here in a second. Give it a little bit more. Yeah, that's it. Pause it. So we have a new section in the communities on top of the browser, and these are the communities that are streaming. What are we showing here? If any public community is streaming, that is going to be shown in this section that is basically like a podcast selector. So if there is public communities streaming, I can select which one I want to join. And in the case that you are part of a private community that is streaming, that will appear here, but it will not appear for any other member that is not part of that community. So I can select the podcast or the connection that I want to do on the streams. Please continue, Kase. So yeah, I can click on that button and join the stream directly, and you can have a similar experience as what I had as a user, as what you saw Romy connected. So I can click here, and it will automatically join me to the conversation, and I can see that Romy is the only speaker. But on my point of view, I have this icon to raise the hand in the same way that we do with Discord. When I click on that, you're gonna send a notification to Romy so she can check the panel and promote me, so we are part of the conversation. Okay, I think that's all from that. Let's go to the next video, please. Oh yeah, the good news is that private voice chat and community voice stream is actually available right now. So if you go to a private conversation right now, you can see that you have the telephone icon there. And if you open your communities, you will have the start voice streaming right now. So yeah, that's available. The feedback will be appreciated, and see what is your experience with that. Please go to the next one. And yeah, and this is the part for creators. I will leave that to Nico.
Thanks, Alvaro. That's some awesome stuff you just presented. On my front, I have a bunch of things, so I'll try to go relatively fast. We have several things that we shipped or are about to ship. Some of these I've been presenting every week on the office hours. Some of them might be surprises. So just a note about how we gather feedback to decide what things to prioritize facing the content creator facing features. We have discussions about these features on the office hours, so all of you are invited to participate in these weekly meetings we do on Thursdays. So that's the great place to have discussions about what are the main things that are the main points or necessary or blocking you as creators. Also, if you're not able to make it in time for those meetings, you're also invited to to speak up in the channels, Creator Hub or Creators Toolkit on Discord.
Nico, sorry for
Oh.
the interruption.
Yeah.
I think we lost the sound in world.
Okay, can you hear me here?
I can.
And people were able to hear Alvaro just fine before. Let me
It's
try.
only you, Nico.
Okay, I can hack this because I'm the one streaming, so maybe that's it. How about now?
Let's check. We hear you in Discord. Now they hear you. You're good. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. I'm like sending my audio signal separate. Anyway, it works. Sorry about that. That's because I was the one doing the streaming, and seems that I had something badly set up. What I was saying is that I have a bunch of things and I want to move fast because there's a lot of them. But before I dive into the details of what I want to show, just to mention how we gather feedback for features that we work on, how we prioritize these. If you have anything that you want to raise that you think Could be a great feature for content creators, or that is blocking you or making your life difficult. Please raise it in the office hours meetings that we do every Thursdays, or if you can't make it into those meetings, you can also raise it in the Creators Hub or Creators Toolkit channels on Discord. Next slide, please. Let's jump right into it. So the first feature is a big one. This is one of the things that has been requested in one of these meetings, which is the ability to ban a player from your scene. This is different from having a player being banned like platform-wide. Kaze, could you please click the video? There's a video there, even though it's... Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to tell the story from 3 perspectives. The scene admin, who is, already using the scene admin smart item, the scene, can, besides, all of the things they can do today, they can also ban a player. You do this by writing either the name or the address of a player you want to ban and hit the ban button, and that's it. You can then open the view ban list and confirm that the player is banned, and you can also unban them from there. Victims, meaning people who are bystanders in your scene, will see things like this. In this case, there's this player who's dancing and being super annoying, apparently, and now the admin is going to ban this player from the scene. And there, the player disappeared, so anyone else who's in the scene will no longer see that player, and they will no longer see any chat messages sent by this player. And this player might be standing outside the scene, and the chat messages will still not be sent. Now, if you're standing outside the scene, then you're no longer under the protection of, this ban feature, so you will see everything again. And when you go back into the scene, it takes a second to check the info, but then the player disappears. From the perspective of the person being banned, if you get banned from a scene, you will see that notification up on the top and this other message on the side every time you go to the scene, and the scene will unload. So the banned player is not able to either speak with players in the scene or be seen by players in the scene, and also is not able to interact with the scene. So they can't, use the scene's mechanic in evil ways. If they step out of the scene loads again, but if they step back into the scene gets unloaded again, and making it impossible for the banned player to do anything in the scene and disrupt the experience for others. So this feature is not quite yet released, but it will be released either today or tomorrow. We have all of the pieces in place. It's just a matter of coordinating the release. So with this, once this is released, if you update dependencies on your scene and republish, any scene with a scene admin smart item will have this ability to ban players from your scene. Next slide, please. Easier streaming. This is also a great one that is related with the scene admin smart item. So now, besides having... So up until now, there were 2 options for showing videos. Could you please pause it 1 second? Thanks. So up until now, there were 2 options for showing videos in your scene. One was to paste a URL, and the other one was to use live streaming and use OBS or some other software, which is what I'm doing right now, to stream into the office hours. The third option that we are enabling now is using an in-house built app called DCL Cast, which makes your life a lot easier because you don't need to download any additional software. Just click a link and you open a web app in your browser. And it also comes with a bunch of other great things. Please, Navias, play the video. So when you access this app, you can write your name, configure your microphones, your video, all of the standard things, and that's me. You can mute and mute, freeze the video, share your screen, all of the standard things you might have in a Google Meets app or something similar. But you also see the list of players who are available, not just listening to the stream, but also present in world, seeing from inside the Decentraland. So you might be controlling this from a cell phone and still be aware of who's in your scene. And if someone writes into the scene chat, you will also be able to see that from inside the app. So this is super useful in case you want to do something remote. Maybe like you're streaming a live in real world party from your cell phone, and you can capture with your camera everything that is going on in the real world and still see who is present in the scene and what they're writing. We also will be making available a link for listeners, so you can also share a link for people who might want to listen to this stream from outside the Decentraland. Maybe they don't even have the Decentraland downloaded, but they can easily, jump in via Twitter and participate and listen to the stream. The one thing that we are missing for this is support for having multiple people being shown in world. So right now the web app supports having as many participants in a call as as you want, very similarly to how a Google Meet session might work. But in the scene, we're only showing the first person to show in a screen. So we still need to do some magic for that use case to be enabled. But everything else works, and we're also planning to release this very soon, probably next week. Next slide, please. Trigger areas. Now, this is a bit more of a technical one, but this was a very necessary thing. A trigger area is basically a volume of a space where whenever you walk into that volume of space, something happens, and you can, hook anything in the scene to that. This was possible already, but it was possible thanks to a hack, which was never really a proper implementation, and that meant it worked slowly. And for example, in this scene, let's play the video, please. In this scene, you have these coins that if you walk up onto the coins, you pick up the coin. In prior versions of this, like if you walked very fast, sometimes you might even miss the coin entirely, or you would feel a delay. It wasn't great for performance either. Now we're using the engine's native trigger area feature, and that means that it's super fast. It's very performant, like it's very efficient in performance, and you can do something that you couldn't do before, which is you see this cube, which is not in an axis aligned way. It was rotated to a weird angle. In the past, you could always only do calculations with a cube that was perfectly aligned with the world. So it would be assuming that the cube is well aligned, and so if you trigger this cube by stepping onto one of the corners, it wouldn't really get triggered. You'd have to you wouldn't have the control you'd expect from seeing the cube. You would be really using a rotated version of this cube, which wasn't really all that practical to use. Now you can rotate the cube however you want, or you can also use spheres. So this is a great improvement. This is available in the SDK, and soon we will be also swapping the utils library and the scene admin, the trigger area smart item to use this mechanism in the background. So you don't really need to do any changes to your scenes. You will immediately start enjoying the benefits from this as soon as you update dependencies and republish your scenes. Next slide, please. Next one is steady movement tweens. This is also a low-level one, but that enables like very basic things that we really needed. So a typical thing to do is like to make something spin in place. And in the past, in order to make something spin in place, you had to use two tweens. One tween that first make it turn 180 degrees, and then a second tween to turn the other 180 degrees. And this was not just impractical, it just didn't look good, because you would notice a little bump in between the two sections of the tween. Now, please play the video. Now that doesn't happen. Maybe in this video you won't notice the difference because the stream might not have a perfect latency. But if you were seeing this in real life, you would notice this as super smooth well before it wasn't. Another nice benefit that we get from this is that you can now pause and resume these motions. This doesn't just apply to rotational tweens, but also the tweens in texture. As you can see there on the right, that texture is sliding. In the past, you couldn't pause and resume the tween of a texture of a rotation. You had to restart whenever you reactivated the tween. So there's also a really nice bonus that we get out of this. And also we made the code for this a lot easier to write, because now with a few helper functions, it takes a lot less to describe these behaviors. Next slide. Web request monitoring. This one gets even more technical. So here in this little video, we show an example of a scene that relies on a server to update a grid of pixels. So you would paint pixels and the server gets updated about what pixels are painted. Now you can check the new web request tab there and open Chrome DevTools, and you can directly use Chrome DevTools as your way to debug what messages come in and out of your scene. So here I just cleared it and I sent some more requests. So you can see that there's a few successful requests to the server, one for each one of the pixels I painted. So this is massively useful for whenever you're debugging a scene that has a connection with the server, because this yeah, otherwise trying to debug these things blind can be super difficult. Next slide, please. Improved AI context. So let's play the video, please. So now we have some default AI context that can tell your AI tools how the Decentraland SDK works, and it has a very condensed and optimized summary of everything to do with the SDK. So now whenever you tell Cursor, in this case, what to do in your scene, I'm writing a prompt telling it to add a whole NPC system with dialogues and options for the NPC. Now, whenever the AI, in this case ChatGPT 5, is deciding what to do, it's going to check in this context, and it's going to produce results that are a lot more intelligent and a lot more useful. And yeah, in this case, I'm using the plan feature in Cursor, which is also super useful, where I am going, like where the AI is even asking me questions about what exactly I want to do, and it's producing a whole description, a written description of the plan it's going to implement, and then I can accept that plan and ask it to build that. By the way, Lestrom did some amazing tutorials about how to do this in the past week. I also did a workshop on Saturday about the same. And yeah, this is a completely revolutionary tool. Like with this, you can completely change the ways that you can write content into the Decentraland. And yeah, whenever it's done, it even shows you what lines of code it changed, so you can look at those and consider if you want to change them or not. And I have this scene running in the Creator Hub where I am adding that code, and in this case, I can just show that now the NPC that you can have a conversation with is using a whole dialogue system where I can pick different options. And all of that was generated by ChatGPT without me having to write a single line of code. So yeah, this is pretty awesome stuff. Next slide, please. And next, this is a feature that goes very well with what I just showed. So tags allow us to mark items in our scene with different behavior. So in this case, for example, I'm tagging items with a grabbable tag. So the bottle, the axe, all of these have a grabbable tag, and other items have a surface tag, like these shelves, even the piano and the piano stool. So from my code, I am fetching all of the items that have the grabbable tab, for example, or the surface tag, and I am adding code that adds behavior to these tags. And so now when I run my scene, anything that has the grabbable tag can be picked up. For example, now I'm holding the bottle and I can put these things down on anything that has the surface tag. So even the axe, I can pick it up and put it down, or I can even pick something up and put it down on the piano, which has the same tag. So this, I believe, and also you can create your own tags. So for example, here I'm creating a weapon tag and I'm assigning that to the axe. And then what that tag does is completely up to you. That is, up to the code to decide. So this, I believe, is a feature that works beautifully hand in hand with vibe coding, because all you have to do is set up the whole layout, add these tags, and then write code that creates behaviors that are related to these tags. On my workshop on Saturday, I walked through like all of my whole workflow using these two things together, and I can say that it's super powerful. I really encourage you to check it out. Next slide, please. Also templates. So we've been releasing a bunch of new templates on the Creator Hub that make your life a lot easier and allow you to have a very quick start. So one of them is the art gallery template, which is just lovely and has a bunch of placeholder paintings that you can replace with your own art. It also has some social links to your own Discord, to your own Instagram, other social networks. And from there, the sky is the limit. You can build anything you want on that. But you have a simple basic scene that already, looks quite beautiful and is, easy to configure and to make it look good. We've also very recently released another two templates. There's a cozy house template and a spooky house template just in time for Halloween. So check those out as well. Those are already out. And next slide. Oh, and there's still a big one in store, smart wearables. So smart wearables are still not released, but we are close. We've been working quite a bit, and we ran into a few complications, but that we're now solving, and like most of this is sorted out. But over the next month, I believe we might be able to have more news about this. So here in this video, I'm just showing one smart wearable that I created myself, which includes adding a flashlight to the player. So now and it's attached to the head of the player. So wherever you look around, you're pointing a light, and you could take that anywhere in the world. So you can explore any scene you want and shine your lights through those scenes. It's just one use case. It's just one example of the many things you can do with smart wearables. This would also make all of the old existing smart wearables work again, as long as they're written with SDK 7. Yeah, in this scene, you can also see that they can swap the color and also turn the light on or off as part of the basic functionality of this particular smart wearable. So the development of this doesn't just include making smart wearables work again. It also includes making scenes able to block smart wearables, which is a very important thing, because otherwise you can use them in disruptive ways that might not, like a parkour scene would not want people to use jetpacks in their scene, for example. We also have some security measures, is particularly for any Web3 functionality. So if a smart wearable includes any Web3 functionality, you will be prompted to accept that. And a smart wearable cannot run any Web3 functionality without requesting for those permissions. That is particularly important to, not have wearables impersonate a scene, for example, and show a UI that might ask you to do a transaction, and just steal your funds or whatever. So yeah, this is still in the works, but coming soon. Next slide, please. I'll take it back for Alvaro. It's all yours again.
Amazing, Nico. How many things do we have in the sleeve for developers and content creators? So on the cycle 15, we have please go to the next slide. We're going to be continuing with the same focus on social features, content creator, and improving the DCL economy. So the features that we have in the cycle for all the users. Next, we're going to continue working on social emotes. We started the previous cycle. We didn't have time to finish because it's an extended functionality, but we hope that this is going to be released mid of the cycle in time for the Metal Music Festival, hopefully. And let's continue. And we're going to be doing a bunch of improvements that has been requested by people that owns and use communities. So first, we're going to be modifying the ranking and the trending. As right now, actually, communities are sorted out by number of members. We're going to be looking at a better algorithm that make it easy for new communities to show on the top, and as well for those communities that are active, that are organizing events, they are posting messages, and they have new members to be also promoted, so that changes constantly and is not always the same communities on the top. As well, we're going to be improving a little bit the members navigation, because right now we have these two columns and it's sometimes a little bit hard to see who is part of the community. Of course, performance improvements, because community stuff takes a very long time to load and is a little bit desperate. Then we have post and announcements. We want to create a new section inside of the community for owners and moderators to be able to post messages and to people to like them, so they can have a more direct connection with their members. Also, we're going to have a functionality for unlisting communities, so you can, if either because you are preparing your community and you don't want everybody to join yet, or because you want to create your private unlisted community, you will be able to do it, and that won't be part of the search. So if you want to create a community with a couple of friends to have community voice streams, you can now do it without actually being seen on the search. Then we're gonna be including all the community requests that you receive for join members members that want to join your community, you're going to see all of those requests together with the invitations and join requests that you have, so you can easily upset all the requests from all different communities in one single place. Also, we're going to be implementing something that was left out from the previous implementation, that was the notification toggle. So users can decide if they want to receive notification about the events and things that are happening in your community. Then we're going to have a functionality to transfer the ownership. So if you want to give your community to another player, as long as they have a name, you can do that. And then we will have a web version of the community, so you can copy a link to your community and share it on social media so people can discover it and join directly on the web. There is one experiment that we want to do, and as you know, players move their head with the camera movement. We would like to see what happens if we synchronize the rotation of the heads with other players, and see if that can be a fun emergent mechanic, and so people can actually nod or move their heads with other people. And also we like to prototype a functionality for people to point at in any direction. So you can point your finger to any point in the 3D space, and other people will see where you're looking at. Also, very requested functionality from the community in general is to be able to gift wearables and emotes from within the world. So it's an easy thing that we can do. So we're gonna be creating this panel listing your wearables, so you can quickly give that away. One thing that it was also requested is that to see the number of items that you have the same NFT, because we removed that from a previous version, so we're gonna bring that back. So you can give away something that you have maybe repeated in your backpack. So this is gonna be both in the send a gift and in the backpack. Also, we're going to be extending the functionality of the credits, so you can buy an M with it or pay the collection fees. So yeah, this was also mostly requested by the community, and we're going to do that as well. And yeah, for the part of the creators, we have Nico.
So yes, features that we'll be working on in the next cycle. One is scene metrics. So as a content creator, you must have, felt the need to know if your scene is being visited, if people are spending time really there. Having this feedback loop of showing you, who's coming, how much they're coming, be able to iterate on your scene and quickly see what the outcome of that is, if the change was, beneficial or not in terms of, player retention and things like that. I think that's huge. That's super useful. So we will build a whole, dashboard for you so that you can see for each one of your scenes how much traffic you're getting, and see over time how users are making use of what you are building. Next slide, please. Tipping. So one thing that would be really nice is to allow players to do a tip to the creator of a scene. We have a couple of old example scenes where you have this mechanic as stuff that is built into the scene. In fact, this screenshot is from one of those example scenes, but that's overly complicated, and we haven't seen that used too much simply because it's super complicated to set up. And also it relies a bit on the player trusting that this transaction that they're signing in the blockchain is a secure transaction. We want to make it both super easy for the content creator to implement and super safe also, so that the person doing the tipping feels that they can trust this transaction, that it's running through the Decentraland and not through the scene, which could potentially be there just to scam you. So yes, with this, we'll allow any content creator to put the address they want tips to go to in the scenes metadata, and that will automatically add a bit of UI that offers this functionality. Next slide, please. this is a minor one, but I think it's crazy that we've gone so long without this. But being able to lock or unlock the cursor is something that can sometimes be just a super big pain. It's the kind of thing that once you're familiar with the platform, you might even not think about it. You might just do it out of a habit that you have to click the right mouse button to unlock the cursor. But for new players, that is often a point of friction, and it really helps smooth experience whenever you have to interact with a UI and you don't know how to free the cursor in order to click on a button in the UI. So we will offer this as a functionality on the SDK, and that will help us, polish a lot of experiences, and it will help you creators also polish a lot of experiences. Next slide. Audio signal processing. This is one thing that I've been wanting for years, and it should be super exciting. So this allows us to have the scene process what is all of the parameters of an audio signal, and that can be mapped by the scene to anything. It can be mapped to the size or shape or color of different objects in the scene. It can even be used to shake the camera or to shake the ground or to do anything that can emphasize the qualities of the sound and make this a whole audio-visual experience. For example, MetaTiger recently did something himself in a scene, but that was using a server, and it was a crazy amount of work to make that work. With this, it should be pretty trivial and should come out of the box for any content creator wanting to use the SDK to build their scene. Next slide. And the final one I have for today is control player locomotion. So this is a very requested one. So with this, the scene will be able to control some parameters about how the player moves. So be able to make the player run faster or jump higher. Here, right now, I'm messing with the settings. This is not a fast accelerated video. This is the real, playing experience of, just tweaking the run speed value and the jump height value. And this can be used by a content creator in their scene to have all kinds of fun mechanics. It can be used not just to, make your scene have different parameters, but they can be changed dynamically. For example, you could have a scene where you gain upgrades or boosters that let you run temporarily faster. Or you could have like a whole stamina system where you can only run for a certain amount of time and then you can no longer run. All of those things are enabled by this mechanic. And next slide, please. I believe that's the last one for me. Good. I believe Gino's next.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Thanks, Nico. And thanks to the foundation team for the space. I'm Gino. I'm the director of Regenesis Labs. This is actually our first time joining the community all hands since we started operating in June this year. Well, first, thanks to the foundation for organizing and for the space. I wanted to start with a quick intro of Regenesis Labs. So we are the execution arm of the Decentraland DAO. We are a new entity created earlier this year to help the DAO move forward from funding ideas to actually building and shipping products that strengthen the ecosystem. Our focus right now is on three main areas: building the alternative clients to the one built by the foundation team, especially mobile and web, to make Decentraland more accessible to everyone, everywhere. Community activations through events like hackathons, workshops, challenges, and also to restart the content and ecosystem funding programs previously known as the DAO grants, to fill Decentraland with engaging and fun content experiences. So today we're going to share a bit of what's been happening in the first two areas. So next one, Kaze. Awesome. So let's start with events. I'm really happy to share that we successfully launched the Bring Your Vibe hackathon last week. Next. It's a vibe coding hackathon with a spooky theme. We are encouraging and incentivizing creators to build experiences that are AI assisted or AI powered inside Decentraland, specifically in worlds. The submission period is open currently until October 27. And we already have over 100 hackers registered on DoorHacks, which is the platform we are using to manage the hackathon. So far, we've hosted like eight events with 9 more to come, averaging 30 participants in world and over 80 viewers per stream across X, Discord, and Twitch. We also, as Kim was mentioning before, we also secured a partnership with CSM, offering $600 in platform credits for the best projects using CSM to generate 3D assets. Winners will be announced on November 9 after the jury's decision. You still have the chance to join and to test some of the amazing things that Nico just announced to wipe code your way to build your first scene. Today, we're actually going to be hosting a space on the Decentraland's X account, or you can just head up to DoorHacks to sign up and get all the details. Okay, so that's it from my side. Now I'll hand it over to Rodrigo, which is the product manager of our research and development team, who will share some updates on the mobile client and its roadmap.
Hello, everyone. Rod here. Pleasure to meet you all. So yeah, we'll go briefly about the mobile updates specifically. So if whoever's handling the slides. So first, a reminder on, hey, how our mobile strategy is going to shape up for at least the next couple months. So right now, if you see on the left, we're trying to basically build the core functionality to socialize in app. So wherever you are, if you're not around your computer, you can hop in the phone and still socialize in game and do all the social activities you can via desktop. So that's what we call the social layer. Right now, the main focus is on, hey, getting texted in, private messages, getting event functionality, friend systems, and all that. And also getting the product in a really good state so we can reduce the crashes and optimize the performance. Because basically when we try to translate all the content to mobile, it is hitting some performance walls, and we need to go around them to make the experience pretty good. And the last focus of the social layer will be mostly catching up with all the features that Nico and Ale keep launching. So there's a lot to do there, and hopefully that will never stop. But we're also working actively to bring that feature parity, as we call it, so you can enjoy Decentraland on the phone as much as you do on your computer. And then for the future, next year, we're gonna try to hit the content layer that is trying to get in viewable content into the app, and also some engagement layer, which means trying to design and sponsor some mobile first experiences into Decentraland. So if we can go to the next slide. This is a reminder. Oh, can we reshare the presentation? This isn't that much. You can cancel the share and share again. If not, it's okay. But basically, if you haven't tried it out yet, it's available on Google Play Store, so you can download its product in production. And in iOS, we're still in test flight. That is an internal testing phase, which you can sign up totally, and we will love you to do so and give us feedback on it. But if you don't want to do it now, we will be announcing by end of this year, probably around November, end of November, a community testing program, so we can officially be a tester for the apps and help us build it together. Right now, we're mostly working in a monthly release schedule, so releases are falling around the first, second week of the month, and there's lots we're doing. So if you can go to the next slide, share a bit of the roadmap overall of where we're aiming. I want you to mostly focus on the first three columns, which is basically this year. As we were saying, basically, this is the social app layer. We're trying to shape up what we call the platform, basically all kinds of backend tools and error tracking, and having automatically build the versions that go into the Play Store and the iOS store, and try to hit iOS store officially by end of year, potentially Q1 if we have issues on the publishing side. And then the core effort will go into the social bucket, which is mostly, as we said, hey, bringing events into the app, bringing in friend system, bringing in private messages, down the line also communities and voice chat and all that we saw we are doing. And the fourth bucket will be the blue one, what we call the gameplay and systems. Here is basically reviewing all the entry flow, reviewing the menus, adding in-game notifications, adding outfits, adding lots of stuff that are on the Explorer client that we still don't have, and we also want to make it really good so you can all enjoy that. The last baguette, the purple one, it's a lot of stuff around technical performance and basically graphics rendering, which is a challenge on mobile because the devices are not as good as a gaming PC, of course. And also there's a huge track of this Explorer party to basically bring more features online. It's pretty busy, yeah, and it will be more busy because we keep doing stuff. But trusting we'll be able to execute, and of course, with the more help and feedback we have from you, it will be better. So if we can go to the next slide, that's basically what we did on this release that's available right now in the Play Store. We have this big feature what we call floating islands by Manu. Basically, what you see here in the middle is the scene. And what we do is around the scene, we're kind of rendering and generating a procedurally generated world. All the vegetation, the terrain, the trees, and the cliffs, that's basically made by us on top of the scene, around the scene. And this was mostly a decision due to mobile performance constraints that we cannot, as of now, enable free walking and loading everything nearby you because the phone will overheat and melt in your own hands. So we came up with this very elegant and complex solution, which is basically try to isolate the scene world. And the navigation for now is mostly going to be done through an in-game menu, like a discover menu that we had in web. So next slide, if we can go. Is text chat. So we did a review to text chat. It's fully functional right now, and you can chat, and it has a mobile adaptive UX. You can see here in the video, the access is on the top left of the screen. You have the keyboard coming along, and also you're able to access the nearby players menu to block someone or mute someone. I think it's coming along in like a couple of seconds. So yeah, this should be fully working right now. We also have the floating messages on top of the character. I think it's around the end of the video. Let's wait a bit. We still do not support emojis, but that will be coming in the next release. This is the nearby players menu. Also, remember this doesn't have yet private messages or communities. Hopefully, we'll also get those online in the next few months. But text chat right now is fully working, so you can hop into a scene, an event, and text chat with anyone. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? This will be basically, we did a whole review of the entry flow to try to bring in more online with Decentraland actual entry flow and review a couple of the screens. And one of the biggest things we want to still tackle is removing the verification code in mobile specifically. So we can deliver really frictionless flow here in mobile. So this is the current version. So if you log in, this is what you'll see. Hopefully, with a couple clicks, you should be able to get online with your accounts or connect your wallet to use your existing account. Okay, next one. I think it's the last one for mobile. This is basically what we're working mostly on this month. So hopefully by November, you should be able to see all in-game events in the homepage of the mobile app. You see there we have on the second row a live event. Those have kind of a highlight together with the trending ones. And also, ideally, if you set a reminder, you should be able to get in-game and also push notifications for those events so you don't miss out on them and you can come in and join. So yeah, this will be coming in November with also a lot more, but we won't tell you yet. So you'll need to connect to the next all hands to know what we're up to. So now I think it's up to Gon. So he'll talk a bit about the awesome Bevy client.
Thanks, Rodri. Hi all, I'm Gonzalo from Regenesis. I'm going to talk about the Bevy client. The Bevy client is an alternative client made by the Protocol Squad like a year ago. Next slide, please. It's just a small team. We have one core developer and one scene developer. For those who don't know Bevy, it's a game engine, open source, written in Rust. And since we created the Regenesis Lab, the idea was to turn this Bevy client into a web client. So we are bringing back the web client version to Decentraland. This is super alpha, it's just being released. So I'm going to show you in this video like the state of how it's been looking right now. We are bringing back we have the same login as we have for all the Decentraland apps. So you can log in with your existing account. And you can see that in web, you can jump into the Genesis city and see the entire world with your own avatar. So we have been working in the last months to make this like web performance, make it stable. And as you can see, then you can jump to the Genesis Plaza and you are going to see all the other peers connected to all the clients, alternative clients. So yeah, just to bring back the web client again and make it performance and feel parity with existing client. Next slide, please. And the scene developer is working on the UI about all these new features. And so far we have let's wait for the video. Okay. There it is. Okay. We have like the settings page where you can change the graphics, the performance, all the settings that you currently have on the existing client. We also have the outfits, so you can create your skins, and the wearables, and the backpack, so you can change how you are wearing. And you can chat. We have this feature about the map where you can see the entire world and navigate through the map and go to wherever you want. I think that's it. Also, we have the emotes wheel where you can do the modes. Yeah, we're still bringing back all the features that we have in the client. We are just 2 people working on this, so it's taking time, but so far it's really promising. It's working really good. And next slide, please. And you can try all this on this web that I want to show you now in the chat. So please give us feedback, try it out. It's still in super alpha, but you can go there and see all the world in the web and see if it's working as expected. I'm showing the link right now. And that's it from my side.
Thank you everyone. That has been an amazing presentation. So many cool stuff and features. I'm personally super excited. Welcome Yemo to the stage, and let's go over to the Q&A session. I hope you can see all the questions, and let's start from the most popular one. Hope you can see it well enough. Can we remove the screen on load that asks you to verify if your desktop number matches your browser number? Wasted time, seems lame.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
Thank you. I think we can consider it. Originally, it was a security feature. It was designed as a security feature to prevent someone send you a link to log into Decentraland through an email, or like to prevent some kind of scam. So you have to check that it's actually you initiating the login. But we could replace that by prompting the IP address and the location that is initiating the login. That could be a solution. Yeah, we can definitely analyze to remove the number.
Thanks, Yemo. Can we have auto login button so I don't have to click upgrade Decentraland, sign in? Yes, they match, approve, jump in Decentraland.
I'm not sure if I'm following. What I'm reading is every time you download a new update of Decentraland, you have to log in again. if that's the case, definitely we should be able to keep your session between
It's true that you
updates.
need to sign the message quite often, so we can extend the time that you need to do that. But if it is as well for a security concern, is the same as the previous question, in my opinion. I think we have some initiatives to easy this thing up, but maybe too soon to talk about them.
It's a good feedback. We will take note on it.
Thank you both. Are player outfit data attached to their profile and fetchable?
Yes.
When in
I think.
edit.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead, Timo.
no, I think the only comment is that the profile, the outfit is attached to a profile in the catalyst. However, like there is no image preview, so you may need to
No.
render it somehow.
That is true.
When in-game editor.
Go, Alvaro, go.
We have been discussing some ideas about how to create an in-game editor, and maybe it's partially a scene that allows you to create to modify itself. But I think we don't have yet a solid plan regarding this.
Yeah, I agree. But I really like the idea of what Alvaro is saying is a scene that has the built-in logic to modify it. So maybe you can have a Minecraft-like scene builder. So you enter the scene and you can place assets that has like a voxel kind of aesthetic, and you can like enter into the edit mode and save it. And you can do it directly in the Explorer, and can be also a social thing. It will be quite limited because you can only use the assets that are loaded in that particular scene. So they need to be attached to the particular aesthetic, right? So you can have one scene that is like a house builder, another scene that is like voxel builder. But again, I think that that's a promising idea, but we don't have it in the next cycle as an initiative. But would love to see something like that.
I think last room has a question on just last room.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, all good.
Yes.
It's a two-part question, I guess, because it's more for Alvaro too. So the in-world builder was funded by the DAO, the DAO, and it worked in the browser, but now the client does not support custom world servers because of asset bundling. So my two-part question is, what is the difference of a scene running a local preview without asset bundles versus a custom world server? Which gets to a two-part. My second part is, why can't we run the asset bundler on a custom world server?
Well, previously we didn't have compatibility with DLTFs, so we couldn't really read the DLTF directly from the content server. So we only accepted the asset bundles, but we had to fix it for the preview mode. And I don't know exactly if there is any other barrier actually to allow other servers to be connected, custom servers. So I don't know exactly. Maybe Nacho know a little bit more about that, if it's a matter of security or not. But I don't think we have a technical reason behind it. Emil, you know more about that?
Yeah,
I remember we had.
can. Oh,
Sorry, go ahead. No, I remember we had several discussions about this, and there were some technical constraints that made things complicated. One of them had to do with the fact that the remote server could have assets that could be massively big, and like they could take they could take up the entire memory of your machine when trying to load them, and we don't know how big the asset is going to be until you're already loading it and it's too late. There were other concerns also, but well, I think it's mostly a matter of time. I mean, all of the obstacles are possible to find ways around, but yeah, it's always competing against other features that we also working on at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah, that's right.
Well,
Uh,
with the file size though, I mean, a world server, is it not restricting it in the same manner as your local preview in terms of 50 megabytes? So I mean, my brain it can't comprehend how you can run the DCL preview and add a GLB and have it viewed immediately, but we can't have that same thing, on a world server. I mean, a world server has all of the same constraints, right? It's the same. A custom world server is the same as the DCL world server, I hope, because that's how it was structured. So I just don't see the difference. If you're deployed to DCL world, isn't it the same thing in terms of like the actual reading the file, checking if it's 50 megabytes, that situation?
I can bring another point. From the engineering side, to render a GLTF or render an asset bundle, there is a significant performance difference between the both. So in the previous version, we had asset bundles for production, and if the asset bundle failed, we fall back to the loading the GLTF directly. And that was a huge pain in the old web version, because sometimes the asset bundle failed for some reason and we didn't notice, and we end up hitting on the performance. So in the rebuild of the Explorer, was a engineering decision to only in production only support asset bundles, and after that we implemented the loading the raw GLTFs only for development mode, because in that sense, the performance will be only affected in your local machine. But eventually, when you test it in production, you have all the benefits of the optimization of the asset bundles. So if we want to enable the GLTF loading in production for custom worlds, it will definitely have like worse performance than optimized assets. So I think that was one of the concerns on the engineering side.
Yeah, I think again, my brain, if it works on the DCL world server, why can't it work on a different world server? And in the interest of like decentralization, right now the client only accepts one world server, and that's from the foundation. So like I would love to work with anybody at the foundation to spearhead the initiative that like the same Docker file that is used at the DCL world server should have the same performance on a different world server.
If you want to have the same performance, you should be running like asset bundle on that server. That requires a Unity license. Things that we can work through, of course, but it may require a private license, right?
Yeah, that'd be great to figure out. I think again, the DAO funded a 6-figure project that literally does what this question asked, an in-game editor, and it's fantastic, but it's only available in the browser. So, again, pushing for decentralization and having the ability for this new awesome client to support more than just what the foundation provides, or the alternative is this is the foundation's client. It will only support foundation technology. Either way, I think it should be known. I would hope that's not the case, and that we can hopefully, provide and explore a system that allows more decentralization, whether maybe we have to pay for that Unity license or it's subsidized by the foundation, or there's a symbiosis there, there's a parallel. We'd love to figure that out.
I have another question regarding this. when the world's feature was launched, certain limitations of the asset of the size of the scenes were set based on the amount of assets you have. Like if you own land and if you are own mana, that defines the. I think that by Foundation owning the work content server, we can actually enforce those rules. But we don't have any way to enforce those rules in an arbitrary server. I wonder if, in case of open it should be like anyone can build their own content server, or it's more like DAO voted, such as the Catalyst, for example. In that regard, maybe we can go through the license for that particular asset bundling process for that work on the server. Does it make sense? Like, is decentralization like open for everyone, or like let's just have another work content server that has these features and it's approved by the DAO, for example?
Well, I think, I mean, it did exist. If you could run a custom world server, there was a Docker file, and it was exactly the same as the DCL world server. The difference is your scene could have unlimited amount of storage depending on the server that you stored it on. So, in theory, I could go buy 1,000 DCL names, and would I get that much storage actually on the DCL world server, which has the asset bundler? So there's theoreticals, but it did exist. You could run your own custom world server in the browser, and it would automatically be the exact same as the DCL world server. So maybe going forward, if you want to run your own custom world server, maybe there's some guidelines that say, hey, it's $1,000 a year for this license that we get from Unity to run the asset bundler or something like that, because everything else is still constrained. You're still constrained by, the limitations and things like that per what you guys put out in the Docker file. So I think working on a solution like that, because a lot of money was spent in the DAO to do exactly this, have an in-world editor. And also, I think it would be great for other scenarios where it's not always on the DCL content server. That's all.
Thank you. That's from.
Thanks. So going to the next one. For voice chats, are the calls stored somewhere or deleted after the conversation?
No, conversation are not stored, are just transferred between the people that are inside the call. They are the only ones receiving the data.
Thanks, Alvaro. Regarding private voice chat, will developers be able to create these private booths in their scenes?
Not right now. Now that we have the technology to have private voice chat or group voice chat as we have in communities, we can open the door for having that as part of the scene. So scenes can create areas and things like that. We have been discussing it. It's not in the next cycle, but it's definitely an initiative that is already shaped.
Will the BAM feature be available in the SDK?
I'll take this one, and the next one is also basically the same question, but about the DCL Cast feature. Both features are only usable through the Scene Admin Smart Item. This is because both functionalities are restricted to only be done by people who are authenticated as admins. So there's a whole authentication flow against the server. The server checks who is owner of the parcel in the blockchain, or if they have been given permission by someone who has those permissions. And that sadly is something that we can't easily extrapolate to the SDK, even though theoretically it would be possible. But on the other hand, it is pretty trivial to grab a scene that has been built with the SDK and just drag in this smart item. And like, you don't need to remake your whole scene with a creator hub or anything like that. You can just add this one smart item and keep the rest of your scene exactly as it is and enjoy all of the benefits in it. And by the way, this is a good time to mention something that I forgot to mention before. I wanted to say a reminder about something. There was a vulnerability that we found with the video streaming using the scene admin smart item. This vulnerability has been fixed, but we require content creators who use this feature to update dependencies and republish their scenes in order to be safe from this vulnerability. This vulnerability has a patch, so meaning for the next 3 months or so, we will all be completely covered and safe from this vulnerability, but we will eventually not have that patch. So in the meantime, we want everyone to be able to update their scenes to have those benefits. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, Nico. The Wallet Connect is currently broken in Brave browser but works in other browsers. Any chance we can get a fix? Whoever submitted the question, if you have a second to drop us a message in help after the meet. I don't think we have received that report until now. So we'll definitely check it out and share with the team. So please let us know, and we'll also test it in the meantime. The team is on the go, so we'll test it after the meet. Do smart wearables mean portable experiences are back?
Not exactly, no. So you can consider a smart wearable a kind of portable experience that gets turned on when you put on the smart wearable and turned off when you take off the smart wearable. However, there used to be a separate feature which we called portable experiences, which were scenes that are not tied to a wearable and that are also global. Those for now have not been brought back. They're still not something that we're supporting in the new client yet. But you can attach us, any portable experience you want to a smart wearable, which can come with that bundle.
I have a comment on this. I think the problem with portable experiences, well, first is the name kind of cumbersome. The second one is the discoverability. Like you really need to go to a scene and the scene launch this experience. So kind of hard for the users to find it out. I think it was a nice experiment that we released in the web version. I wonder if like we can have another take on it on the design, maybe having a discoverability feature for these experiences that you can launch through a menu maybe. So I think the smart wearables were a more polished version of it. In case we bring portable experiences back, maybe we need to address the discoverability.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
on that.
another,
Yep. Oh, sorry. So go ahead, Nico.
so I just want to mention another related problem that we had with that was that they lived on for a single session. So if you closed the central and came back, you would lose any portable experience you had on, which also felt like a bit of a, not polished experience. It was confusing many times. Sorry, Lester, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. We built, so I know this might blow people's minds listening, but it's good to get it out there. We built a smart wearable, and a smart wearable can only have like 2 megabytes of information. And all we did in the code was open a portable experience. And so think of like a portable experience is a scene on the world server. That's literally what it would do. So if you are a developer and you have a scene at, Lastrum world server, whatever that is, right? The smart wearable is the access point for that scene. So you basically load that world scene into Genesis City. And we built a smart wearable that was discoverable. So anybody could put in their portable experience, and you open up like a little GTA phone, your smart wearable, and it was just a bunch of images. And when you click on the portable experience you want to load, it would literally load that world scene in Decentraland. So I think discoverability is interesting, but I think again, thinking of things for like a greater audience in terms of like taking a scene and having it be portable is super interesting beyond like just 2 megabytes.
So what you had there was a very clever hack around a problem that we could maybe avoid in other ways, because I also have suffered from the very limited space we have in smart wearables. But maybe the solution is to allow people to have larger smart wearables. And we still haven't changed the limitation on size that we have in smart wearables, but I really think we should. I really think we should expand that. And with that, we wouldn't need to piggyback on a smart wearable and have a portable experience running the bulk. We could just have the smart wearable be the experience. But yet, this doesn't mean that this portable experiences are something that will never happen. As Gemma said, like it's something that would be really nice to give another go at that, but maybe we should rethink the whole experience. Yeah.
Thank you all once again. I saw Nico showing off locomotion, but I couldn't hear. Are locomotion controls coming to SDK?
So I was presenting something that is like still not released. It was just a random branch with some things that are not ready. We will be working on that in the next cycle. So this will include having a controls for the player's speed when walking, when running, jump height, etc. So all of those parameters will be values that a scene creator is able to tweak for players in their scenes. So yes, short answer, yes.
Awesome. Why can a local preview load 3D models without asset bundle, but custom servers cannot?
I guess this was last from, and yeah, we kind of addressed that. Thanks.
Most of the things in the DAO are being passed by one person now. Percentage-based voting power is better looking, more decentralized feature, but needs implementing.
I can take that one. So it's a good question, and it is true that sometimes a big portion of the voting power comes from one or a few whales, but it's also true that the DAO has a delegation model, right? That it's meant to counteract or to back those whale decisions. Like users can choose to delegate their voting power to people they trust and could like create community powered whales. So that's one thing. But if you look closely to the last proposals that were voted or supported by whales, you will also see that those proposals got the majority backing from individual voters, like from individual wallets, right? So the results reflect the voting power weight, but also at least a portion of the community sentiment. So that's my answer on that.
Thank you, Gino. Big thank you to all of you who have continued to build this place to the bear market. Thank you, Foundation. On behalf of everyone on the call, thanks for the kind words. We are sharing the
Thank you,
positive feedback
community.
with the team for sure. Yeah. The skybox seems to be locked at a certain time. Can we bring back ability to customize it?
So there's a known issue.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was
there's a known issue.
Go.
Okay. There's a known issue with this. Apparently, whenever the skybox is like not configured, it's considered as having a value of 0, which means that you're really having a midnight sky. This is a problem with how the engine was interpreting that particular configuration. There is a fix for this, and I believe that is coming out in today's release, right, Sloan?
Yeah, that should be. I actually can, if you allow me just 1 second. I think it should be coming in this release, yeah. I can check after the code just to be on the safe side, but yeah, that was the plan. So let us know if you're in world and you reload and you'll update to the latest release. How will smart wearables be curated?
Excellent question. So we went through this as a big headache when we did smart wearables initially. The curator committee is made up of people who are mostly 3D artists, not developers. So they will not be expected to look into the code that comes with the wearable, but yes, see the functionality as users of the smart wearable. And they can, give feedback based on how well the wearable, performs in general. Also, we have the specific permission for anything that is blockchain based. So any blockchain based functionality has to explicitly ask for a permission, which gets shown big, like in big text in the UI, saying this wearable is asking for permission to do Web3 transactions. So if that is not present, then at least we can be safe and sure that the wearable is not gonna do anything shady with your funds. If that is present, then we do need to take a very close look at the wearable, and the users and buyers of this wearable will also be notified and warned about that the wearable requires that.
And last question for now, will we ever have the ability to customize the skybox and sample, given create custom worlds, planets, underwater, etc.?
So it's one of the features that we've been talking about for a very long time. It's one of those things that is in our backlog for someday. You can do some things. Kaze, in fact, has a very nice scene where he has a fake skybox, which is just one huge sphere, and it works surprisingly well. So that is kind of possible, but definitely not as as pretty as it could be if it was a proper skybox. But yeah, it's not planned for the next cycle, but it's one of those things that we plan working on hopefully soon.
We also have some technical difficulties because we have all the environments around the scene. So in the case of a world, you will have the ocean and the trees around and the cliffs, and also not only about the skybox, is about the lighting and the direction of the lights. Right now, it comes from the sun or the moon. If you want to override the skybox, you should be able as well to have what is going to be the main sun directional light. You should be able to control the terrain, because otherwise it's going to be like in a skybox and an ocean and a cliffs and an island. So maybe that's a little bit weird, and you cannot really create that kind of a space scene that you are imagining, right? So you create a space skybox and you create a scene that is floating in the middle of space. If we want to do custom skybox, we need to think about lighting and environment.
Thank you both. And the last question, upgrade Genesis Plaza.
Oh, I can take that one. Well, we have been working on a new version of the Genesis Plaza. I think we are close to deploying it. The thing is that the music festival is coming close, and the team is starting to focus on that. And not sure if feeling confident to release it before doing the bug fixes and also working in the music festival. So I think that's the blocker at the moment. We are proud that what we have is better than the current plaza, but there are so many more things to do there. So we will definitely release a first version and continue working on it in January, February, throughout the year, next year. But that's coming together and it's looking nice. And we have many ideas to improve it.
Amazing. Thank you, Yama. I'm super excited for the new look, but yeah. So we don't have any other questions. Just a moment in case anyone wants to raise their hand, share something in the chat or in the Slido. And if not, I think we can wrap it up. It has been a little bit 12 minutes over. We overextended. Amazing features, amazing feedback, and cool stuff from both the Regenesis team and the foundation. Thanks everyone for joining. If you have any questions or you need anything, drop us a message in Discord, and I will hope to see you in World as well as on the next All Hands in 2 months. Thank you, folks.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Have an awesome day.